Welcome everyone to Chiltern High School Parent Information Evening. This is for Year 8, so if you've somehow ended up in the wrong meeting, just let me know. This is a virtual presentation. It is going to be recorded and then we will pop it on the school website. So if there's anything that you kind of think I might want to go back over it, it will be available over the next week on the school website for you to rewatch, pause, play, fast forward, etc. So what will we cover this evening? So I'm going to do some introductions of key staff in Year 8 that you need to be aware of as part of your child's Year 8 journey. I'm going to share some curriculum information, home learning and home study, assessment processes including core setting, reading, learning habits and scholar habits, enrichment, digital safety, communication, our uniform and attendance drives, key safety messages, and some key dates that should say there for Year 8 students. Okay, so a really warm welcome to you all, and thanks for attending on this Tuesday evening. I appreciate some of you have had to log on straight after work commitments, but just some introductions. So Miss Giroux, Alice Giroux, is our deputy head teacher, and she's over Key Stage 3. So she's our point of call in terms of our deputies. Myself, Anna Moylan, I'm the assistant head teacher for Year 8, and I will oversee academic responsibility for the Year 8 group, as well as pastoral. We have Claire Wilson with us, who is the head of school. She looks after Years 7, 8, and 9 with, again, a pastoral and academic focus. Dawn Banton is our Queen of Year 8, our head of year. She's been with the students since they arrived in Year 7, so hopefully you'll have had a chance to meet her before on your contact points in Year 7. So she remains with them and she really knows the students inside out. And then we have Danielle Prendergast, who is our attached learning mentor for Key Stage 3. We also have a new member of staff who's just joined us this year, Joseph Brooks. He's a sports mentor, so he might well work with some of your students on some interventions based around sport. Okay, if you've just joined us, it is recorded and it will be on the website, but I've just introduced some key members of staff. And then we'll get straight in. So we just wanted to share with you as parents our record-breaking moment this year with our recent GCSE results. This year we achieved a record-breaking set of results for our school at all measures, and most importantly we achieved the most number of the highest grades, so that's grades 7 to 9, compared to any school in Manchester. We're really proud of our recent leavers and we just want to give them a massive shout out and congratulations. You may know some of them as well, but you're in safe hands. We offer a really good provision for our students here at Chiltern High School. So our curriculum, we've got an extensive curriculum. We pride ourselves on a really broad and diverse curriculum offer. We could spend hours going through it, but I won't. I'm just going to point you in the direction of how to access it on the website. The website's been redesigned as well, so it's a bit more parent friendly. There is a tab on the website at the top that says for parents. You can scroll down to Year 8 and then there is this section here that says Year 8 Information Hub, Consolidation and Exploration. If you scroll down from that, there's loads of information, and then at the bottom of it are these blue links with term dates, uniform, Year 8 curriculum, progress test information, home learning, extracurricular activities. So those sections will be updated with information that you might want to access. So familiarise yourself with that and the curriculum. And on there will be kind of the learning journeys for the year for different subjects, if you want to have a look and map that with your students as they go through the year. So nextly, in form time, we have a form time curriculum as well, and that builds our students' character. So it's really clearly mapped out, opportunity to make lots of achievements in form. It's not a wasted time. We really value that time in the morning, and that is delivered by our amazing form tutors. So they're mostly the English team, and we've got 2 drama teachers who are our form tutors. But this is the kind of flow for the week. for a normal year 8 student. So we will have character curriculum on a Monday, and that's a virtual assembly that's delivered by the head of professional development. So they will set the students off with their focus for the day. Tuesday, they will do some character education, and I'll talk a bit about Chorlton Edge, which is their accredited course that they are going to study or complete this year in form time. And Wednesday, they will continue with that. So that's some kind of deep time to complete that course in form time. Thursday, we dedicate this day to reading and reading with fluency. We have form reading books. So all students use the same book. There'll be activities with that. There'll be opportunity to do some guided reading, exploration, inference, etc. And really get into some depth with the form reader book. And then Friday is our assembly day, which is in the blue box. Each morning, students need to be out on the yard at least by 8:25, so that they're in the lineups at 8:28. So we can go in at 8:30, ready to start form promptly and maximise the time in the form room as well. Assemblies are on Fridays in the blue box. So again, they normally line up, they know their lineup and their routine, and they are directed then into the blue box theatre for their assembly. The quality of success that we always encourage them to show is motivation. We want them to foster a passion for learning, personal growth, building on the successes of year 7, but also setting goals, staying focused and striving for excellence in all aspects of their academic, enrichment and personal lives as well. So I spoke before about Chorlton Edge. Now this is a qualification bespoke for year 8 students. It's adapted from Pixel Edge, which is a company we use. We sometimes we deliver at their events. We use the resources. They have accredited courses, and we've adapted it to make it more like the students we are building at Chorlton High School. So it's a bit more specific to our school environment and community. It supports the promotion of excellence for pupils. It improves the life chances for young people through educational achievement. It gives them opportunity to connect with other students, but also with the next stages in their education, and give them that extra edge in life. So students will have a variety of tasks that they can complete as evidence towards this award, and they will learn about that during form time. And they can qualify at 3 levels. So we've got apprentice, graduate and master's level. And our student council team will be involved in kind of the quality assurance of the evidence that students bring towards evidencing at different levels as well. So there's leadership opportunities there for students who wish to be involved with that. But again, it's lots of different activities that they can be involved in that just give them a little bit of extra edge compared to other students from other schools, which they can look back on later down their school life. So students will work and evidence their Chorlton Edge qualification in an evidence booklet. It will support students, but also tutors in making sure they know where everyone's up to. It will provide a place for them to write and reflect without lots of pieces in paper. So it's all in kind of one workbook, and it will be delivered and accessed through form time only. Really clear for everyone to follow, and the form tutors are really knowledgeable in delivering that course and supporting students through it. Okay, home learning will kick in properly in week 3. This is kind of once they've got all the routines, students are settled in the lessons, and some of them may have started to get small bits already, but it'll be all up and running in week 3. So our home learning for year 8 is 1 hour of English, maths and science and reading per week. Reading, because those that read perform better in life. You know, reading builds vocabulary, and vocabulary opens up opportunities for students. So we really encourage that reading at home, reading for pleasure, and you know, choosing something that is appropriate for their reading age, that might challenge them as well, but that they get stuck into a good book as well outside of school. They'll have 1 hour of languages per week, 1 hour of humanities, and up to 1 per fortnight of computing or technology. The art subjects, music, art, drama, dance, they might have some creative projects, so it might not be a task in itself, but something that's spread out over a half term or a term. Our home learning, like last year, there's not really many changes at all. So maths is on Sparks, which is our online digital platform. Science, English and computing are on Educate, which is a quiz-based platform. Languages is paper-based, so they get these homework booklets to learn the vocab, and that's tested in class with a vocab test. And then other subjects might set theirs using MS Teams on the assignments function, or they might set paper-based homework as well. Okay. So that will be set up in week 3 if they have not got some already. Home study. So how can you help at home? So home study is one of our scholar habits, which you will have been introduced to last year. And at home, we want students to kind of think of not thinking of it as a huge task that they need to complete, but being organised and setting habits and routines that will make them successful. So our home study habits walkthrough is have a plan, organise your resources, maximise your study habits. So maximising your study habits would be, no distractions, no phone, a set time, set place, a set deadline for doing things, and then evaluating your progress. So how did they do on that piece of homework? Did they put much effort into it, and what was the outcome, and what is the learning points from it? So we'd like you to really support students by sitting down and discussing homework with them, making a plan, giving them support in getting through that tick list in an efficient way that's not all piled on at the end of the week, not leaving it till Sunday evening, not leaving it too late that it's missed and they've not done it, but thinking forward and meeting deadlines on time and doing it as well as they can do as well, doing a good job, something that they feel proud of. Ensure they've got somewhere that they can complete it that's free from distractions. We also have the library at school, so if that's difficult, I appreciate people might be working from home, there's other siblings at home or space constraints. We have the school library at school where students are more than welcome to stay behind and do their homework, and it kind of like keeps it separate then, that once they've done it, then they're free to go home and have free time. Encourage them to revisit learning, ask them to see inside their books, what have you learned today in science, and ask them to tell you about it. It's that encouraging, revisiting the learning, even if they've not got any homework in a subject, but to revisit and reread what they've written, maybe summarize it, maybe make some summary points in their key knowledge points at the bottom. But just have a look in their books. Like, they really do take pride in building their scholar habits and producing such beautiful work and books. So, ask them to show you and showcase it at home as well. Our assessment cycles are really, they're really important here at CHS. Of course, on an individual subject level, staff need to know where students are and what the gaps are that they still have in their learning. But other key areas of focus we feel parents can most support include effort and good learning habits. Okay, so that's how you can support at home, making sure they're putting in effort and that they're building these habits at home. That then leads into our assessment cycle. So we have 2 periods through the academic year where students will sit progress tests. So the first one is in January after the Christmas holidays. So that's our first point, and then in the summer, in June time, will be the second cycle. So students work up to those points in the lessons. They're supported with revision programs, guidance, support materials, and then they're supported through the process as well. So it's just to kind of, it's to test them on what they've learned in a period of time. It's also to find out what they're not secure on. It's also for teachers to find misconceptions and missed learning. And then there's an opportunity after each progress test cycle to fill the gaps and ensure that misconceptions are addressed and students are able to move on fluently to the next topic. Teachers will mark the test. Parents will receive a report from this as well. So you will be used to getting a PDF email with the report. And then teachers will also respond to gaps then in feedback lessons. So students have these feedback fortnights where any misconceptions or gaps are highlighted then. So I spoke there about effort. So obviously, you know, it's the doing in the class, the homework at home, but it's effort. We want students to get in the habit of putting in good effort. Okay, so for all students that looks completely different, but we want students to try. We want students to be resilient. We want students to see things as a challenge and to struggle at times with some things, but not to give up, to try a different angle, to get there in a different way, to use a different revision resource, to master a habit, and to eventually master their learning and feel secure and successful. But effort is the single key indicator of future success. So what students put in can translate to what they receive on the output. So setting, we sometimes get emails about this, but setting in core subjects looks like this for Year 8 students. So Year 8 are in mixed ability for English and also for science. And currently that's working really well. Students are, teachers are delivering higher ability lessons and then scaffolding where applicable for other students. So all students are aiming for the top, and then that is scaffolded to support students who might need a little bit more support on an individual basis. So mixed ability in Year 8, and then for maths, there are 3 bands. So it's kind of a broad setting, a broad mixed ability in 3 bands, and that works for the maths team in terms of the content they have to deliver. In terms of pathways, so when students have already chosen Spanish or French, I don't think we've had many issues with that with students returning. So they only do 1 language now. And then when they come towards the end of Year 8, they will choose an arts elective. So they'll be given an option to focus on an art subject of their choice that they might think about doing at GCSE. And they will still complete their other subjects, but they'll be given more time as part of their timetable for that art subject they choose to focus on. And this is to give them a flavour of it for GCSE and studying it a bit more depth. Reading I've spoke about before, it's significant. We want students to keep reading in a time where screens, phones, all sorts of distractions, we want them to keep reading. Again, it's so important for the vocabulary development, and the research reinforces this every year. Here at Chiltern High, we ask them to read for 20 minutes every day. This can be part of a routine at home. It doesn't need to be all at once, but to be effective, it does need to be part of a daily, weekly routine. And we've got an amazing library at school, far superior to some of the public libraries I've visited over the summer. It's fabulous, and if they haven't got a book that someone's interested in, they will look to get it, but I would be pleasantly surprised if they don't have it. They update them you know, really regularly, all sorts of genres, a lovely space to read in as well, so please encourage them to visit our school library. Our learning environment, so we want students to be calm and focused, to have habits and routines. And I said this about before, about that embracing struggle and repetition. If it's too easy, then, you know, they've not got anything out of it. If it's difficult at first, it's to try again on a different angle, or to try again a different day, to reframe it as a problem and not seeing it as something that they can't do and giving up. So that's what we empower our students to be. And we really focus with our students on this learning environment to make sure that they feel challenged, to make sure they're able to follow their passion, and also so they can be developed to be successful learners. So calm and focused, we want their conduct, language, movement around schools to be really calm and focused. We want them to pay attention in class. We want them to be calm and respectful with each other, with the environment, with adults, all adults in school. We want the habits and routines to be for them to think hard about solutions, to meet challenges, to practice habits, to build routines, and to conduct themselves to grow into a CHS scholar. And we want them, in terms of embracing struggle and repetition, we want them to see a challenge as being a problem, something that they can solve. Long-term learning is developed through working hard, revisiting learning regularly, and having the motivation to celebrate. Motivation increases when they celebrate their achievements that are increasingly difficult. So it's not about celebrating the things that were easy to them, it's to look back and celebrate the things that they found difficult and they persevered with. So our CHS scholar, I've mentioned this at the beginning, but also it's like a golden thread through our ethos, our conduct, our learning at school, and students in year 8 have had a whole year of learning what CHS scholar is all about. Some of you all have had scholar awards sent home. Loads of our students have achieved them in a variety of different subjects. But parents can support with CHS Scholar by asking them to look at the books. You know, have you organised your book like a scholar? Did you pay attention in class like a scholar? And asking students to be reflective, encourage them to revisit the learning in their exercise book routinely. Testing them sometimes, you know, this is where we make significant gains when they self-test on their learning so that they can retrieve it much easier, much faster, and it becomes part of their subject vocabulary. Enrichment. So we have a fabulous enrichment offer, lots of high quality opportunities outside of the curriculum, and we encourage students to really embrace those opportunities. They're opportunities that they can talk about when they're applying for colleges, jobs, etc. They are opportunities to meet new friends, to build new relationships, to develop their communication skills, to really enjoy spending time mastering something that's either new to them or something that they love and have a passion for. The clubs will start in week 3. And they will be on Arbor, where they'll be signposted home, and then they'll be on Arbor where you can book them and secure a place. So, you know, there's all the sports ones, coding club, there's the school musical, film club, craft afternoon, there's music groups as well. So there's a whole host of extracurricular opportunities they can get stuck into. So enrichment, students in year 7 and year 8 had this last year in year 7 while they had their first LE week. So it's at the end of the summer. They'll have drop down days where they're off timetable, and they will you know, take part in a variety of activities. Sports day is there as well, and they might have some trips. And then in addition to that, we also organise at least one social action play in the Blue Box Theatre. It's normally interactive with some Q&A, some opportunity for some drama, and it will explore themes that students will study in our Respect curriculum. I've talked about enrichment in terms of clubs, but we also have our CHS belonging agenda and our community pledge. So, you know, we encourage students to take part in fundraising, volunteering, charity work, and last year we raised funds for a range of charities including UNICEF and Choose Love. Each year group have their own charity focus. It changes each year, but again, as part of their Chiltern Edge qualification, they will have the opportunities to dip into experiences like that to build evidence for their accreditation. Digital safety is more important now than ever in a vastly digital world. So can you just make sure we're a no phone school, so remind students that the phone is off and away before entering school. Check their passwords, check their security, remind them about checking sources of information. So is it true? Is it too good to be true? In terms of like spamming, emails, where they put their data, who they share their email, their phone number, etc. with, and keep their passwords tight. So encourage them to use the strong password facility to really lock in their passwords and not to share them. Social media is a huge problem. Things happen on there and then spill over into school. So I would advise no social media at all. But if they do have it, if you can check the age restrictions for the ones that they use, check the phone regularly, check apps that they're using, and actively encourage them to disable their location services. So things like Snapchat can see where they are in real time, which is alarming. You might use it as kind of like a safety device, but then other students or other people or other members of people that they don't know can maybe access and see where they are. And secondly, make sure that their accounts are private, that anyone can't access it, that it's locked down and it's completely private. Algorithms push content, so this can be dangerous. I've just come back off maternity leave, so I have a personal social media account, and I would be getting pushed things relating to maternity and babies, etc. Just going down one avenue of watching or liking one thing can send them repeatedly the same kind of but different versions of the same message. So it's important that they aren't accessing something that they shouldn't be, that it's safe content, but also that they're not receiving messages that could cause them kind of emotional distress. It could be a trigger, it could cause trauma. So really have a hold on their social media and the time that they're on it. The screen time, you can check on the phone how long they've been on it. But it's alarming. You see things in the news about young people that are on the phone for 17 hours plus. The screen time, you can set locks for how long they can use it for, but also again, that's at your discretion. The National Online Digital Safety website has lots of information on there about managing screen time, all the kind of like things you need to be aware of, advice, and also like the moral purpose behind it, like the explanation to the students about why it's a problem and that it's for their safety fundamentally. So that's a good point of call if you need any support with it, because the students are more digitally adept than we are. In terms of communication, so our communication charter is that teachers will respond, or staff will respond, within 3 working days from your point of contact. Please direct your communication to the relevant curriculum leader, teacher, or head of year. Communication by telephone, if you call the main reception, it will most likely be returned to you within 3 working days. But if it's urgent, please let reception know, and they will try and contact your child's head of year or a member of SLT. Please don't turn up to school expecting a meeting on the day. These should be pre-arranged with members of staff, and we aim to plan a meeting within 5 working days. And a summary of our communication charter is on our website, and it looks like this document on the left. It's in the parent section, just scroll down. And this new feature on our website, the parent notice board, is really good. It's got all the letters that are sent, all the communication that's sent home, any initiatives, anything that's going on that you need to be aware of. If you click on the parent notice board, it's under the parent tab. It's that second one down under Arbor, and you've got the direct link straight onto there. Uniform is looking incredible. Year 8 have returned absolutely stunning. So thank you so much for supporting that, for, you know, the washing, the ironing, the purchasing, all of it, and ensuring that they come to school looking their absolute best. This is one of our new conduct drives. This term is all about wearing your uniform with pride, making sure that the tie is pushed right to the top, that the shirt is tucked in. Blazer is on at all times. They can take it off when they go to lesson, but it is worn around school, worn in the lineup, and worn when they leave school. We want them to take pride in our uniform, so it's something that they should wear as it should be worn. Black tights or black socks, not black tights with socks on top. So if they've got cold feet, was you know, some students' queries, then thicker tights or just plain black socks under their tights, but not socks on top of the tights. Secondly, skirt length. So if you can just check these as well, that they're appropriate, that they're not rolling the skirts up, because it can change the appearance of the skirt as well. So that's something to check. But on a whole, Year 8, their uniform was immaculate. So a huge thank you to you all. Just a reminder, jewellery is just a simple pair of stud earrings, no hair dyes or extreme hair colours, no false nails because they're a health and safety risk, and no eyelashes either. In terms of equipment, all students in Year 8 had equipment when we did equipment checks this week. So again, huge thank you to your support with that. Just remind them to bring their reading book as well in their bag. That is in there as well, in case that there's an opportunity in form time for some extra reading. So that they've got the equipment in the bag, but also the reading book, and also all their exercise books for all the lessons. So get them in the habit of taking out what they've used that day, maybe showing you what's in it, what they've done that day, and then restocking their bag with what they need for the next day and being organised the night before. Just some safety messages. So there've been some incidents outside of school where students in the local area have been targeted in Chiltern Park by unknown members of the community. We've got staff in the park at the end of the school day who will be talking to students about being safe on the way home, and we will talk to them in assembly as well. But just remind them not to walk alone through the park or in areas that might be considered shortcuts, so not through the trees, stick to the main paths, not to talk to strangers, to walk sensibly and conduct themselves in an appropriate way, not to walk in large groups. When they need to cross the road, use the appropriate crossings, stop, look both ways, listen, particularly near the trams as well, so not taking shortcuts. No earphones and no phone, so concentrating fully when they're crossing the road, and keep the phone away because it's a huge distraction. And then if there's been incidents where people have been targeted in the community as well, it puts them at risk. So ask them to keep the phone away and out of sight. Attendance, it makes a huge difference. So those that have the highest attendance in school perform better in all exams. So can you just really encourage students to come in each day? It also keeps their sense of belonging in school. They don't feel like they've fallen behind in a lesson. It improves their academic outcomes. We want children in as much as possible. Obviously, we're aware illness happens, but that's different, of course. But if they are well enough to come into school, to come in, and then if they aren't feeling too well and things deteriorate, we can send them home. That's not a problem. We've got lots of systems in school to support attendance, and these include our attendance team who communicate weekly attendance to students and parents. This could be email or text. We have home visits by attendance staff, mentors, heads of year, and these could be unannounced. We have an attendance panel, so you might be invited in for one of them for a particular reason of absence. It could be poor attendance or attainment, and they will look at ways of moving forward to support your child to improve their attendance. We could involve early help, and they would look to support your child's attendance by putting an EHA in place. and get some agency support if we need it. In a minority of incidents, we have a penalty notice or prosecution. So this is in line with national and local policy, it's statutory, and any child who has a 5-day unauthorised absence in any term time will receive a penalty notice. And on a good note, we have rewards. We have so many students who come in every day and have significantly high attendance. You know, we have so many that are above the 98%, and we have rewards for them. So we have weekly best form prizes and bigger prizes for end of terms, and then also individual ones as well. So, you know, really push attendance and making sure that students are in each day, attending school and not missing out. So some key dates, just or some key messages for the year coming forward. So that first one, so there isn't an in-person parent evening, sorry, I've forgotten to delete that, but the second one is your online parents evening. So year 8 parents evening isn't till Wednesday the 1st of April. Before that, it should say that we've got another one of these parent information evenings in January, the start of the January term, and that will give you all the information around the progress tests. And then Wednesday the 1st of April, you will have your year 8 parents evening, and that will share the information and feedback from the first set of progress tests as well. So it'll be, you know, just shortly after that as well. So that'll give a really good picture of where pupils are up to. Effort reports are in autumn too, so that's after half term, and then also just before Easter. Academic reports are in spring 1 and summer 2, and they're following the progress tests. We have half-termly letters, which will include all the key information for the term, and we have Chorlton Connection newsletters that are sent out and include student and school celebration. This week we've got our first Fantastic Friday, so teachers around school will be nominating and celebrating students that have really settled in really well, adopted those habits and routines, worked really hard. So they will be notified by the head of year if they're invited to the Fantastic Friday celebration, but that will happen each week. So just remind students of that, and making themselves stand out as well. So working that extra hard and adopting those scholar habits beautifully. So that's it from me. I hope they have a wonderful half term. If you need anything, I will just pop our emails back on from the front slide with the key members of staff as well. And this is recorded, sorry, and it will be on the school website before the end of the week. So probably Thursday, Friday, it'll be on there if you need to review anything. But any problems, just email us and we will get back to you. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Take care. Bye-bye.